Welcome back to the iRacing British Touring Car Championship here on BSR TV. This is it. This is the final round, round 30 from Brands Hatch this evening. Calling the shots, Chris Cohen, alongside Dan Blake. Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you, Chris. Always a pleasure.
And it all comes down to this. 17 points is the difference at the top between Rushworth in the lead and Hoog in second place, which means that if Jamie Rushworth manages to finish in 18th place or higher, then he will win Season 4 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship. Doesn't get simpler than that, hopefully.
No, but nothing's a given. This is touring car racing. Everyone likes the exciting. Anything can happen in this race, sort of racing. So it's not as clear cut maybe as some people think. But you got to say Rushworth is the favourite. There's a lot of stories though in this race to keep track of. We've got a teams championship, but also Russell Laidler. He was on pole for the last race, and we saw the unfortunate incident which dropped him down. And to finish 10th place gives him another chance. So I think Russell Laidler will be determined to make this one a bit better than the last one.
Let's hope he can do that. Let's hope these guys at the front don't just cave under the pressure of having these two mighty teams on the grid behind them. The team championship, as you touched on, there is now a 43-point difference at the top. So, MovieGo Racing are 43 points ahead of their main rivals, Bianco, which means that, well, it's going to be tough, isn't it? But it's not entirely impossible that Bianco will take those 43 points away from MovieGo and come first, take the $100 prize.
Exactly, there's not a lot of difference at all, considering each team have 4-point scoring drivers, so it only takes one team to have a bad race and it completely change again. So MovieGo have had a good meeting so far on the whole, so they'll be looking to keep it up. But also away from that as well, you've got CKR Fusion's Ashley Sutton looking to become our first treble winner in the race meeting.
And for anyone who's not familiar with the series in that much detail, no one has ever won all three races in one meeting, I should say. And it's a very tough thing to do, because if you win the first race, you go 10th on the grid. If you win the second race, you go 10th on the grid again, which is exactly what's happened to Ash Sutton. He had no problem coming through the field to win the second race from 10th on the grid. He finds himself 10th on the grid again. If you can get all the way to the front, he will take that honorary title of being the only driver to do that. We've had some great drivers in this series. Andreas Katz, we've had Stelian Chepelewski, both of whom are in this race. We've had Ade Copa Lopez, and no one, not even Copa Lopez, has managed to do that. So it'd be quite an achievement for Sutton if he could pull it off.
Yeah, it would be an absolutely great achievement for Ashley Sutton, who unfortunately won't be racing in the Formula 4 Championship anymore. He's withdrawn his entry from that, but definitely a treble win here, something that is a very, very good achievement to do, and something we'll be extremely proud of, I think.
We are 4.5 minutes away from the grid, just enough time to tell you that David Taylor is out there on the track tonight, and wants a shout out to his team, dm-racing.co.uk. so anyone listening in, go check out dm-racing.co.uk when you get the opportunity, and see what David Taylor's all about. He's a very late entry into this. I haven't seen him out on the track before, but maybe he'll join us again for another season, as will a lot of these drivers, because Season 5, Dan, is not far away, 2 weeks away. And although Season 4 hasn't started yet, the lineup for Season 5 looks incredibly exciting.
Yeah, an extremely short turnaround in the seasons, but as you said, Season 5 looks like it's going to be a real thrill, because you've got people like Blake Townend from the Radicals, you've got potentially Wojciech Savidovic and some other great drivers, plus the ones you've already got here, of course. So a lot of competition, and with that prize pot, you can think it's going to be very fierce and furious.
Well, one of the things that's a hallmark of this particular series is the camaraderie and the cooperation between a lot of these drivers. You know, they'll happily share setups with one each other, talk each other around tracks that drivers might not be familiar with, and just help each other out in general. So it's really good to see that sort of friendly terms everyone has in the paddock in this particular series, which hopefully the new teams coming in next season will, latch on to, just like MovieGo Racing have done this season. They find themselves at the top of the table by 43 points, looking favourites to take that $100 prize in only their first season and it really is testament to some of the skill of those drivers, Linus Broström, Reggie Blaine, Jamie Rushworth and Robin Smith, as to put them on top of the table in such a short space of time, which can't be easy, especially with such an established field.
No, it can be, but it just shows that you need to have 4 very consistent drivers to be able to do it. It's no good having one really quick driver who gets all your points, because you need to be constantly scoring. And as you said about the camaraderie in this championship, it's like a real life club level series really. I found out with Truck Attack Race Club, who I race with, in the Hyundai Cooper Cup, it's very similar to this. Everyone's very friendly, everyone helps each other out, and it's really good. People enjoy their racing like this. So as you said, very good camaraderie, and it is like really a real life club level series.
Now let's go down and have a quick look at the grid as we watch the drivers just warming up in the final 2 minutes. Sutton will be starting from 10th, having won the last race, but the front row of the grid will be Russell Laidler and MovieGo Racing driver Reggie Blaine. Second row is Nick McCarron, Smolensky. Third row, another MovieGo driver Broström alongside Robert Fagg. Katz and Terry occupy row 4, and Chepalewski and Sutton row 5. And Chepalewski just is monstrously quick round this circuit, but in that last race, Sutton's fastest lap was 3/10 quicker than any other driver. It's quite an achievement.
Ashley Sutton, as we said last week, a very, very quick driver. Add to the fact that he's a bit more, shall we say, braver than some of the others with the overtaking as well, means that he's a real threat even from 10th place. And Ashley Sutton is a really good credit to have in the championship. So let's hope he can keep on his good run of form in this race.
Well, can he do it? That's the question. Can Ash Sutton go from 10th on the grid to win the 3rd race in a row, and the only driver ever will be the only driver ever to win 3 in the same meeting? Can Rushworth hold on for at least 18th place, which is all he needs now to win the entire season 4 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship? And crucially, can MovieGo Racing score enough points to say 43 points ahead of their rivals Bianco, take that $100 prize and become team champions? We're about to find out. This is an iconic venue here, Brands Hatch. It's, other than the Formula 1 being set at Silverstone, Dan, it's home to so much British motorsport, really is.
You get the British Touring Car Championship visiting twice, of course, with the Indy circuit and the GP layout. You've got we see the classics racing here, British GT, all sorts of championships come to visit Brands Hatch, and it is one of the most iconic circuits in British motorsport, probably second after Silverstone, as you said, it being a previous Grand Prix venue. But be interesting to see how this last round of the BSR-TV BTCC goes. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker.
There'll be a lot of nerves down there on the start-finish straight as the drivers are about to line up for this final round. If you're watching live or whether you're recorded, glad you could join us for this one. It's going to be one of the most exciting races of the season for sure. And Russell Laidler once again finds himself on pole position. On the right hand side of your screen, that's MovieGo Racing driver Reggie Blaine. Behind Laidler, that is going to be Nick McCarron, and on the right hand side behind Reggie Blaine, row 2, Smolensky, then Broström, then Fagg, then Katz, then Terry, and on the right, in the same livery as the pole position car, you can see 5 cars back, Ash Sutton, and he will want to get as far up this grid as possible, even by the time we get to Paddock Hill Bend. We've got some lights here, Dan. We're ready to go racing at Brands Hatch, round 30 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship. The final round is underway. The drivers get away quickly. Sutton already making a move down the inside, but he's blocked off by the car in front of him, which is Stefan Hug. And Laidler has it going into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Oh, too wide. I don't know who that is, but
big crash. Smolensky and Fagg, they leaned on each other going down Paddock Hill. That's caused a massive pileup behind, cars scattering everywhere. Oh my, this is a massive wreck.
And Smolensky's basically in orbit there. And, well, some drivers managed to get through, but most drivers didn't. And that is huge. That could have huge implications on the championship. And Rushworth is through. Hug is through as well.
Yeah, Stefan Hug's through, but he's got Ashley Sutton right on his boot lid at the moment. So Ashley Sutton is another driver who managed to escape that, and Stefan Hug now is going to feel the pressure from Ashley Sutton.
Well, let's go back and have another look at that start, because that one's probably worth seeing again. It all started with Alexander Smolensky and Robert Fagg, as you say. Smolensky goes very, very wide at Paddock Hill Bend, and then coming back on the track, it's hard to say whether Fagg didn't give him enough room, but there's definitely a bit of door banging going on. Smolensky just seemed to be unwilling to back out of it, and turns Fagg around into that tyre barrier. And as the two cars rejoin the circuit there, all hell breaks loose. One of the CQRs collected. I think that might well have been Russell Laidler. Let's see if we can get a better view of that from another angle. And well, Rob Fagg is once again just a passenger here, spinning his car around there, and Smolensky got absolutely launched into orbit there. We'll see that dodgy iRacing physics come into effect any moment, as one of the movie Go cars, which could have significant impact, almost collects Smolensky, manages to... It's good avoiding action there, and the car's just kind of concertinaed from there, Dan.
Yeah, we saw that in a real British touring car race a few years ago, if you remember, in the wet, where there was a big pile up there as well. But someone who's taking great advantage from this is Linus Brunstrom. I don't know where he started on the grid, but he's up to second place already. I mean, his Movie Go teammate Reggie Blaine third, and JB Rushworth in 10th. That is 3 Movie Go cars in the top 10, so that'll do wonders for their team championship campaign.
It certainly will. Laidler, meanwhile, is at the front of the field. He is holding on to this lead by 1.5 seconds. Brewstrom second. McCarron's under pressure from Chepelewski in third place. And look at Sutton's car. Look at the front of that car. It must have got collected somehow, but manages to survive. Can Chepelewski get round Reggie Blaine before Sutton manages to take that position away from Chepelewski? Terry just behind in 7th place. Hoog is... where's Rushworth? Stefan Hoog and Rushworth are having their own battle. So Rushworth 9th and Hoog in 10th place at the moment. So remember, all... Oh, and here comes Sutton. Down the Brabham straight to start lap 3. Has he got the inside line down into Paddock Hill Bend? He certainly has. He's going to make the move, but he doesn't want to take Blaine straight away, surely. And Chepelewski looking for the cutback. Chepelewski's turned Sutton around. Chepelewski's going to hit the barrier. Oh, and he almost takes out Terry in front of him. And Chepelewski himself has gone into orbit there. And, well, we've seen it before, haven't we? And it's happened again. Chepelewski with a huge impact there. Let's go back and have another look at that one on the replay. Because Chepelewski was going for the cutback there, Dan.
Yeah, Chepelewski going for a cutback there, and it's not the first incident we've seen today, but there's been some big impacts, and Chepelewski, another driver very lucky. There was Adam Terry in the Bianco car. He nearly caught a bit of that, but I don't think he did quite. And Ashley Sutton, though, is also lucky he's still been able to run, but Reggie Blaine lost a position on that last lap to Nick McCarron, so Reggie Blaine up down to 4th, and Nick McCarron is down 3rd.
Oh, we're just watching the stricken Chepelewski bouncing over the barriers and almost out of the circuit there. Some more very unusual physics going on, shall we say there. But once again, another coming together, and Chepelewski will get going again, but he's a long way down. He's a long way down now. The standings still haven't caught up. Russell Laidler is winning this, but it says that he's in 2nd place. So the overlays are a little bit wrong there. But what did you make of that incident, Dan?
It's hard to say, really. I just think that they're racing very, very hard, and I think sometimes some of these drivers, if they just lift, it's hard to say, really, but if they lift out maybe a little bit or try not to race so hard, then these accidents might not happen because they're taking...
Oh, Blaine at Druids with Terry coming together with the two drivers. Sorry, Dan. And they both got away with that one, but just caught that one out the corner of my eye as you were talking about that. And just coming down into Druids there, we'll get that one on the replay again. Let's have a look. Terry's going, switches to the inside, tries to go around Blaine. Blaine suddenly decides to go defensive and cuts across the front of Terry, but it's probably too late by then because Terry's already down the inside of him. And both drivers losing places there as Hoog and Rushworth. Well, it's Movigo versus Bianco for positions 5, 6, 7 and 8. Movigo have the upper hand in 5 and 6 at the moment. That's Hoog and Terry just behind. I couldn't get more excited than this, Dan.
Oh, there's definitely potential for some fireworks here, but all this has allowed Ashley Sutton to go into 4th position and trying to make a break towards Nick McCarron. And I saw some smoke lock up in the background. There's an eBay car on the grass, but he's managed to get back on, not like we saw earlier with Jake Tucker. But this Movie Go Racing battle with Bianco, the first of those 2 Movie Go cars, has started to pull out a bit of a gap there between the second one and the 2 Biancos.
So Rushworth is pulling out. Blaine seems to be holding them up. Doubt it's on purpose, but Blaine probably not with as much pace. Hoog and Terry now going too wide. That's interesting, going down to Paddock Hill. These guys will want to work together. These guys are pretty equal on pace as well, so Terry is just in front of Stefan Hoog right now, and Blaine had that coming together with Terry last lap down at Druids. No such incident this time round. They're both through there cleanly. Terry in 7th. Needs to find a way past Reggie Blaine pretty quickly, but how about the rest of this field? Because Sutton is almost ready to make his move on Nick McCarron. He's only 3.5 seconds away from the lead of this race, and he's got 7 laps to do it. 3 cars to pass to be the first driver, and it couldn't have worked out better for Sutton, could it? Chapalewski's out of the way, and the other guys are all behind him.
Yeah, you got to say that the cars in front probably not as strong as Ashley Sutton, trying to make that outside move again. Oh, there's contact between the 2 there, unfortunately there. But
great save.
Sutton, absolutely fantastic. He's only lost 1 position in the process to Jamie Rushworth, but Sutton may try and claim that back, but he's on the grass.
There could well be damage on that car.
He's on the inside, Sutton, and he's going to go past Rushworth. So, amazingly, contact there with Nick McCarron, but he hasn't lost a single position. And a great save there from Ashley Sutton.
Well, Nick McCarron was having nothing of Ashley Sutton's aggressive approach to touring car driving, was he? Didn't want to give even an inch there, and in doing that, might well have caused damage to Ashley Sutton's car, but Sutton will have to settle for 4th now. It's cost him a 1.5 seconds as well. McCarron's definitely losing pace from the front 2 drivers, but Russell Lader's lost his lead in the meantime to Linus Broström, so Movie Go Racing are in 1st, 6th and 7th, and that will put the team championship beyond doubt, as here comes Laidler around the outside at Surtees. Very difficult place to overtake this, and needs to get that run, but advantage to Linus Broström down the straight because he got the better exit.
Yeah, we're just coming out of Graham Hill Bend. He went a bit wide, which allowed Russell Laidler that opportunity to go around the outside, but Linus Broström has managed to keep the lead there, which is taken off Russell Laidler, but Laidler certainly isn't going to take no for an answer, and is putting pressure back on the Movie Go Racing driver. But behind, it seems like a bit of a battle royal for 3rd.
Absolutely. Sutton has got past McCarron, but these guys are absolutely nose to tail. That's Rushworth just in the background and Blaine just behind him. Now Sutton's not started to pull away from McCarron, and is in fact falling back. He's falling back a long way here, so that's actually, again, the positions on your screen seem to be constantly wrong. So Sutton is in 3rd at the moment, McCarron 4th behind him, Rushworth 5th, but the gap's now 5.5 seconds to the race leader. So those chances of Sutton taking a 3rd victory seem to be evaporating very quickly as we've got 5 laps to go. McCarron is starting to slow now. Sutton seems to have more pace, about 1 second quicker on that lap, so Jamie Rushworth will want to make that move on Nick McCarron soon.
Yeah, but also this Broström and Laidler are having a battle as well, so those 2 could slow each other down, but I think Ashley Sutton with the damage in that may be a bit too late for him, but he is starting to pull away from the others, as you said, and there's a good battle going on for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Well, I'd expected Broström to pull away from Laidler here, but that is not what's happening out on track. Laidler glued to the back of that Movie Go machine, and there is a back
contact further back. Robert Fagg involved. One of the Bianco cars has gone off as well. It's the car of, is it Adam Terry? It's either
Terry's still going, but he's dropping.
Yeah, they make contact, and so that's more contact in this race. But both of them managed to survive, I think, this time.
Let's go back and have another look at that one on the replay if we can. Oh, Adam Terry making contact with the rear of one of those Movie Go cars. We missed out on that one. That was Reggie Blaine. He's actually tapped the back of Reggie Blaine's car, and then, well, his cats, and oh dear. It looks like Katz has collected the Speedworks car, sent it across the track into the path of Adam Terry, who took that clout full force in the face. Let's see if we can go back and have another look at that one from the perspective of Adam Terry's on board, because it should become clearer there. These cars obviously slowed down quite a lot by that impact. There's Hoog going through on the left. Now, was it Katz who made that contact or not? I don't know. We need to see that one from another angle, I think, in order to get a proper result on that. So let's go ahead and do that. And there's a Speedworks car coming on the inside there. Now the Speedworks car pulls to the right, Dan. That's what it is. It was Terry that made the contact, not Katz. And that is the 105 belonging to David Baker rather than Robert Fagg. And he just seemed to lose the plot. He just seemed to move across the straight.
Yeah, it's not what you're expecting as a driver either, somebody to go around that quickly onto you, but unfortunately for Adam Terry, it's affected him and Bianco's chances in this championship race now.
Well, Sutton won't get it. He's still 5 seconds down with 4 laps to go, unless something catastrophic happens to these two race leaders. Brewstrom from Laidler. Sutton in 3rd, McCarron 4th. McCarron doing very well to keep Jamie Rushworth behind him, it has to be said.
Bit of a train behind those. You've got Reggie Blaine, Andreas Katz and Stefan Hoog, but after that there's a 9-second gap back to the next pack, including Marcus Naris, Eckhart Van Glaan and Ellis Stevens.
And let's remind the viewers at home that Jamie Rushworth needs to finish 18th or better. He's currently in 5th place. So all he's got to do is keep it on the track. Doesn't have to overtake McCarron if he doesn't want to, but he's coming under pressure from those cars behind. And looks around the outside at Druids, but not really an opportunity there. McCarron doing very well to hold station in 4th place at the moment on lap 9. Side by side, Katz and Hoog. Hoog almost sneaking past Katz there, but Katz holds on to it. And Adam Terry has withdrawn from the race. So too much damage to that Bianco machine, Dan.
Yeah, as I said before, it's a very unfortunate blow for Bianco. These 3 Movigo cars in the top 10. I think Movigo have pretty much secured the championship now as far as the teams and the drivers. So a fantastic season for them. But Jamie Rushworth not content with possibly sealing the championship, so they try and get up to 4th place at the expense of Nick McCarron.
Well, he's making a meal of it, if I may say so. Either that or he's not that fussed about making the overtake, because McCarron's doing a successful job of keeping him behind, which he couldn't do with Ash Sutton. Even after that contact, Sutton still manages to get past McCarron and has now gone off into the distance. That gap's now 5 seconds that he's extended. But Laidler's still right on the tail of Linus Brewstrom for the race lead as well. Brewstrom would love to win this race. I'm sure he would. Absolutely sure. He's only had 2 podiums this entire season, despite being 4th in the championship. Has taken the checkered flag once before. Rushworth going for the cutback now at Paddock Hill by taking the outside line on the corner entry. Over the curb. Looks for some more speed to get down there, but can't do it because there's a back marker. And you saw there, Dan, how early Rushworth was on the brakes. He just didn't want to take the chance of having a collision, did he?
No, the back marker there was David Taylor, who's had a pretty inconsistent meeting so far. So Jamie Rushworth decided to pull out of it, but I think Jamie Rushworth, if he gets a clear opportunity, will try and make a move past that Triple Eight car.
Elsewhere in the field, Eckhart Van Glaan is holding 10th place from Scott Malcolm. It might well be too little too late from Bianco now. David Baker is right behind, having recovered from that spin that he induced by colliding with Adam Terry. And well, Van Glaan's doing very well to get up there in 10th place, and Naris doing extremely well in 9th as well. I've had some big retirements here. Laura Bond's out. Another terrible finish for Laura Bond, unfortunately. Jake Tucker is out. Terry is out. Fagg is out. So quite a few cars retiring. Worth a mention as well, Nils Jordan here. He is in 22nd for Pertec Racing, surviving that initial incident on the very first lap, and he's becoming quite a veteran of the series. Never really finishes on the podium or anything like that, but very consistent. Turns up every week, does what he's got to do for his team.
Yeah, it's drivers like Nils Jordan that series veterans like that. It's what this it's about, really. People who enjoy their racing. They might not always be the quickest, but they're enjoying it. But speaking of being quick, Jamie Rushworth trying to go round the outside there of Nick McCarron. But as they go down to Graham Hill Bend, he's going to be on the inside, but he's not quite going to be able to stick it off. But behind, there's almost bumper to bumper there with Stefan Hoog and Reggie Blaine.
Hoog looking for a way past Blaine, who had to brake a little bit more than he would have liked to allow that wide line from Jamie Rushworth in an attempt to get past Nick McCarron. McCarron is definitely backing these guys up. He's doing 133s. The leaders are doing 131s. So that's 2 seconds a lap faster, and I just don't think Rushworth really wants that position. He's not willing to gamble and potentially have what happened to him, the same thing that happened to Ashley Sutton, which was almost a nasty collision. Oh, and they've concertinaed, and Hoog's in the back of Blaine. They both get away with that one, though. Hoog desperate to get past Reggie Blaine, you can just see that.
Oh, definitely. Despite the fact that we're lapping a bit away from the end of the race, Stefan Hoog, if you can have a chance to have a little nibble at Jamie Rushworth, you think he probably will take it. But in turn there, Nick McCarron slowed Jamie Rushworth up there a little bit, and that's allowed Reggie Blaine and the car of Stefan Hoog to catch up. So to start this final lap, I think this battle for 4th place probably one of the bigger ones on the track.
And don't forget about Andreas Katz, because he is tagged onto the back of this battle. Drivers jostling for position. Will they go left or right into Paddock Hill Bend? Katz taking a nice safe line there. Gets a good exit. And he's going to go down the outside of Stefan Hoog here. Makes it too wide, but there's way too many cars coming into this corner. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and Katz has slipped past 2, maybe 3 cars here. What a great move from Andreas Katz. 2 cars, in fact.
Great move there from Andreas Katz, and Andreas Katz now will try and get the inside line on Jamie Rushworth, so last year's champion-elect on his last lap of being champion down the inside of Jamie Rushworth. So a great move there from Andreas Katz, and that's 3 cars in the space of 2 or 3 corners. Fantastic driving there.
Well, that's how it's done, although it has to be said, Rushworth put up absolutely no opposition. He knows he doesn't need to do anything other than finish in the top 18, and the title is his. He'll want to do as much for his team as possible, but Movigo Racing drivers set to win this race come 6th, 7th and 20th, which will put the team championship beyond doubt. Here we are in the last lap. It looks like it could be over, Dan.
Yeah, it's good, very close at the front there. Brewston and Later right on the back there for Linus Brunstrom, but I think Linus Brunstrom will just about hold on and claim his first victory in the BSR TV British Touring Cars. Fantastic victory for Linus Brunstrom at Movigo Racing. Second
victory, in fact, but still fantastic nonetheless. Ash Sutton takes 3rd place, and Nick McCarron coming home managed to hold on in 4th place despite all that pressure from behind. Katz jumps everybody into 5th. Rush was 6th, Reggie Blaine 7th, Hoog 8th, and the timing's gone a bit haywire again. Marcus Narris, great result in 9th there. David Baker 10th, Von Glan 11th, despite what it says on your screen, and Critchley, who's had a very quiet race meeting this evening, is in 12th place, and that is a great victory in their first ever season, Dan, for Movigo Racing. They've taken the team championship.
Yeah, a fantastic effort from them, and they will deserve the prize that they're going to get for that. So Movigo Racing in their first season, proving that it can be done. So setting a bit of a target there for the Radicals and the other new teams entering next year.
As well as that, Jamie Rushworth takes the driver's title by not a huge margin in the end from 2nd place Stefan Hoog. He didn't score more points than Hoog on the day, I don't think, but it didn't matter because he came into this round with a 22-point advantage, I should say. Hard fought throughout the season, more victories than Hoog overall as well. Hoog took the rough title yesterday, so some of that sharp, bitter disappointment will be taken off by that, surely, Dan.
Yeah, definitely. We sort of one title, and as much as it would be good for him to double up, I think I'd be quite happy with the fact that he's had 1 title. So unfortunate, but to become 1st and 2nd in the championship is definitely a very good achievement for Stefan Hoog, and it shows that different cars, he's still quick in them all.
And Sutton didn't get that 3 race victories, possibly might well have been due to the contact with Nick McCarron earlier in the race, but also could have been well been to do with Brewster and Lader being just that quick up at the front of the field. Points seem to have gone a bit haywire. We don't actually have an entry on the screen for 16th place. No idea what's going on there. Could have been Aaron Gearing in 16th place in actual fact. Very late entry, might not have got his name in there in time. But there's your top 20. And another British Touring Car season has drawn to a close. Again, Dan, in dramatic fashion.
It's always the case with this championship that thrills, spills, and excitement are plenty. I think that's why lots of people like to compete, and why people watch us here on BSR TV, because it is the premier touring car championship in the UK, and at least, if not the whole of the iRacing community.
Well, it is one of the best events that I have had the pleasure of commentating on over the years for BSR TV, that much is for sure. And with some great competitors in it, it's really got to make for some great viewing as well. I hope you guys at home are enjoying this, because we've got the whole Movie Go Racing team in the commentary box joining us right now. Jamie.
Hi, Chris.
You have won the Drivers' Championship, and it was touch and go for a while, wasn't it?
Oh, it's terrifying. I had a car on my roof at the end of race 2. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to pull ahead.
Well, you hung in there, and we saw you go into the pits, and we weren't quite sure if you were going to come out again. But just talk us through that one.
Yeah, I realised just after I passed the pits that I had enough damage that I had to pit in, the meatball flag. So I just had to limp around for a lap, and then damage limitation after that point.
Well, congratulations, fantastic driver championship win in what was an exceptionally tough season for all involved. Really well done.
Thank you so much.
Linus, you won the last race as well. Fantastic job to keep Russell Laidler behind, but it didn't look like it was easy.
No, it was really hard work to keep him back there. It was hard to get by him, and then I thought I was going to be able to pull away, but he just kept up somehow, watching him every lap.
And we were talking at the start of this evening's racing about the fact that although you haven't scored very many podiums, that's only coming into this round, you'd only had 2 podiums during the season. You were still 4th in the championship, and if things had gone wrong for Jamie, did you think maybe, I can nip in here and win the championship in his place?
I wasn't expecting that, because that would take very bad luck for both him and Hugh and Chepelevsky, so I wasn't really counting on that.
Well, we were talking at the start of the show as well about Chepelevsky and Adam Terry being the 2 men who would most want to win the championship. No offence, Jamie, but that's because both of them have come second in the past by very narrow margins. So it must have been difficult to Jamie to watch some of those, Terry, Chepelevsky. What's going through their mind right now? What do you think they're thinking about?
I have no idea. I mean, reading this chat, it seems like they're thinking about the contact they made in the last race.
Well, Chepelevsky was taken out in dramatic fashion. It seemed to be a race of getting people turned around by going too wide on the straight, and hopefully not too many people got involved in that. But a little bit of contact there from you, Reggie, with Adam Terry going down into Druids in the last race.
Yeah, well, I was defending the inside line, and Adam Terry went up the inside, so I just held my line, that was it.
Well, how soon, you both escaped from that with no significant damage, although losing a couple of positions, but how soon did it become clear to you guys, and did you all know, Reggie, that it was going to be your championship, the team?
Yeah, well, we sort of, the last couple of laps we were talking with each other, and just says another couple of laps to go, and we were working it out as we were going along, and so we never take anything for granted, and we've all worked really hard, and a big shout out to Jamie and all the guys for working so hard to get this. Really, really happy with it.
Now, Robin Smith, you were the 1 seed driver, and the way the seeding system works means that on paper, at least, you were the slower of the Movie Go Racing drivers, but your contribution to the team was just as important in some ways, because you had to keep that points tally as high as possible. How much pressure was that put on you to do as well as possible to not let that team down?
To be honest, the guys were great about it. They said, come in. They were so welcoming when I first joined the team. Said to me, come in, just turn up each week, try your best. There's no pressure. Even if you have a crash, got engaged in some mad scramble at the back. It was, don't worry about just get it back across the line, finish the race, and get the extra points. It's been an absolute blast.
Well, it's been an absolute blast to watch as well. Some fantastic racing throughout the season, especially in the final 3 rounds. And Jamie, I understand that MovieGo will be returning for another season.
That's right, yeah, we will. Hoping for the same success next year, but with the Radicals and other new teams, it's going to be interesting.
And will it be the same lineup, the same 4 guys?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Well, if anyone objects to that, now's the time to say, because we got you all here. No
Not from
objections?
No, I'm good.
Good stuff, excellent stuff. And you mentioned there that Radicals are coming into this league. They've got the likes of Blake Townend, they've got the likes of Andy Kirchtorp, seasoned racing drivers, almost like a professional level team coming in. You worried about that at all, Linus?
I'm not really too familiar with all the new names coming in, but I think if we can just stick together and do the best we can, I think we've got a good chance of winning the championship next season again.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with that. And so, Jamie, Linus, Reggie, Robin, the MovieGo Racing team, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations. Jamie, what are you going to be spending $100 on amongst yourselves?
I haven't even thought about it.
Well, don't spend it all at once anyway. But thanks for joining us, guys. It's been fantastic having you in here.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers.
Good broadcast.
Thanks, Chris, for all the good broadcasts.
We'll catch you guys a little bit later. That is MovieGo Racing, and Dan, great bunch of guys, really.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice bunch of lads. Most of the people in here are very, very nice, and it makes for a good championship, really. There's no needle as such, although, as we see in the chat after, the emotions can get high, that people talk it over, and as you said, it's a very, very nice team, MovieGo Racing, and it's reflective of the whole championship, really.
And Russell Legler has actually put in the YouTube chat for us. I can live with second, great hard race. So he's not too torn up about not being able to win the last race from Linus Brewstrom. And again, just goes to reinforce the fact that it's not all about winning, it's about taking part. But more pressure on these drivers next season, because that prize money goes up substantially. $25 a piece this time round, but significantly more next season. And do you think that that might affect the way that drivers approach this series, Dan?
I think it will do, Chris, because it's a lot on the line compared to this year. It's big money, and I think some of the driving we've seen today, people being a bit rash and maybe not thinking with their brains completely. We may see a bit more of that next year, so we have to be quite tightly policed, I think, because with money on the line, it could bring certain traits out of drivers that you wouldn't usually see.
Well, what a fantastic season. I've thoroughly enjoyed covering it, and I imagine you have as well, Dan.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I've only been able to do a couple, but the ones I've done I've really enjoyed, so thank you for having me in the commentary box, Chris.
Well, you're welcome anytime, of course, and next season we will continue to cover the iRacing British Touring Car Championship, and the next time you can see BSR TV will be Monday, when the Skip Barber series reaches its own finale from Interlagos, the last round of the season. That championship has already been wrapped up by a very quick Mark Mercer, who seals the deal, and there's still all to play for when it comes to second and third place in that particular championship. That's going to be live Monday night from 8:40 PM UK time. And just wanted to put in a quick shout out to the series organisers of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship, Ella Stevens and Steve Richardson, doing a great job putting this on, making sure every driver knows what they're doing, in the right place, turning up to the right sessions, etc. And without such organisation, we wouldn't be able to cover such great racing. So, also worth a mention is a man by the name of Andrew Whitehead, who has done a lot of the paints for next season, and you'll be seeing more of those on the BSR TV website. So bsrtv.net is where you can check over the next few days during the downtime between seasons, and we'll try and get as many of those new liveries, pictures of those, up on the website so you can check out what to expect from the new season when it starts, which will be in 2 weeks' time. I very much hope you can join me and Dan and Matt for a whole new season of the iRacing Touring Car Championship in 2 weeks, but congratulations once again to MovieGo Racing, and commiserations to the entire Bianco team. They worked hard for it, They weren't far off, you know, and they put in a great effort anyway. So, until next season, see you next time.